Welcome back to Tivilon's Umbraco training series. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the remaining tools in the Rich Text Editor's toolbar, as well as the meta panel of the text page document type. Picking up where we left off, the next tool in the toolbar is the Insert or Edit Image tool. As its name implies, this tool allows you to insert images within your content. Once we've found where in our content we want to insert the image, we'll simply click the icon, and then we can either enter a URL to an image located on an external site, or we can select one that has been uploaded to the media section of Umbraco. We'll be covering how to upload images to the media section in our next tutorial. For now, we'll just select an image that we've uploaded to our demo site. Once we've done so, you'll see that Umbraco sets the name field to the name of the image and sets the width and height of our image. The name is used as alternate text that is displayed when the image doesn't load correctly or is blocked. It's also used by screen readers to provide users with a disability to hear a description of the image, so it's something that you'll definitely want to utilize. If we change our width or height fields, you'll notice that Umbraco automatically changes the opposite dimension to avoid distorting the image. Let's insert the image and see what we get. This looks alright, but let's try to have it appear to the right of our text. To do this, we'll want to insert it before the text that we want it to appear next to, and then we can right-click the image and use the alignment option. As expected, our image is pushed to the right of our text. We could also use the left option if we wanted the image to be displayed to the left of the text. The next tool in the toolbar is the Insert Macro tool, but this is more of a feature that our developers at Tivilon use for inserting dynamic content like a blog feed into a page. You could feel free to disregard it. The next tool that we have is the Insert or Edit Table tool. When you click this, you'll be asked to set various different properties on the table. You can feel free to just set the rows and columns, as we at Tivilon have predefined styles for tables that should override most of these options in order to maintain a uniform feel throughout the site. Let's insert a table. Once we've inserted the table, we can begin to enter some content into the table cells. Say we want to add an extra column or row to the table. We can do this by right-clicking any of the table cells and selecting the various options like Insert Column Before or Insert Column After. We can also delete rows and columns this way by selecting the Delete Column or Delete Row options. Here we'll insert a new column. And now we'll insert a new row. The next tool that we'll cover is the Embed third-party media tool. This will allow us to insert things like YouTube videos into our page's content. Let's jump over to YouTube and grab the URL for a video. Now that we've copied that to our clipboard, we can head back to Umbraco and paste the URL in the URL field of the General tab. We can then click the Preview section to see what our video will look like. And once we've seen what it will look like, we can click Insert. you'll see that Umbraco has generated a YouTube embed for you within your page's content. The last tool in the toolbar allows you to insert special characters like copyright symbols, ampersands, and cent symbols into your content. Before we conclude our demonstration of the content section of Umbraco, let's take a look at the meta and properties panels of each page. The meta panel has 3 fields that are useful for search engine optimization. The first is the page title field, and this sets the text that shows up at the top of your browser window or within a tab in your browser. It's also the text that Google uses as the heading of each search result. The next field is the page keywords field. This is essentially just a comma-separated list of topics relevant to the page. The last field is the page description, which is the description that appears beneath the heading of each Google search result. Heading over to the Properties panel, we first see the Name field, which allows us to rename a page. We then have a Template drop-down, which allows us to select which template the page is using. However, you'll almost certainly never need to use this, as it's more of a development tool than a content creation tool. We then have our Publish At and Remove At Date fields, which allow us to select a date and time for when content should be published or removed. Keep in mind that the page must be republished after these fields are set for them to take effect. The next item is the link to the content and can be useful for when you want to view the live page. The last field on the page allows us to hide pages from the site's navigation. If this checkbox is checked and the page is republished, the page will be hidden from the top navigation and any other navigation areas throughout the site. We hope these 2 tutorials have provided you with a better understanding of how to create content in the Umbraco CMS. In our next tutorial, we'll be covering the media section of Umbraco.